Welcome, everyone. This is Tracy Malone from NarcissistAbuseSupport.com. I support victims, whether they are in a breaking up marriage or relationship, family members. Today, I want to speak with you about the estranged child. This is where your adult child is married to or with a narcissist. And what I want to specifically talk about today is so many parents of this kind of situation, estrangement from with an adult child due to a narcissist. Um, Often parents are encouraged to apologize, and often the apologies are not accepted and they're not good enough. You've done it wrong. I've seen it where you smiled when you apologized, or you weren't looking me in the eye, or you didn't seem sincere. If any of those sound familiar, if you've been on the apology tour with your adult child and their partner, it probably does sound pretty familiar. And I really want to understand, I want you to understand it and kind of help you guide you through this to see how basically when an apology isn't enough, we have to realize that there may be deeper emotional wounds and obviously a potential narcissistic in-law driving the estrangement. So navigating this is going to require patience, self-reflection, and a willingness to suck up and adjust your approach. I know people don't like to hear that, but if we want reconciliation, often one of the things that has to happen, and again, this might cause you to barf in your mouth, but you're going to have to be nicer to the in-law and at least try that strategy, right? But when your apology isn't enough, I want you to understand things, first of all, from their perspective, right? Listen to them without defensiveness. Your child may feel like their pain hasn't been fully acknowledged, and if you show sympathy by listening without interrupting or justifying your actions, it's going to go better, right? So often they accuse you of something that didn't happen, and you're like, that didn't happen. I never said that. Again, you're not going to get your child back by showing them that you didn't say whatever they're accusing you of. Doesn't end well. So listening is key if you're going to be apologizing to your adult child. The other part of this is from their perspective is like asking questions. Ask them, what they need to hear from you, and if there's something unspecific that's unresolved, right? That's the most important part. What do they need from you? And to feel heard, right? There's something specific. Let's work on it, right? Then we assess the apology. This is a big one. I just said specific in the last sentence. Specific is important. Was your apology specific? I've seen so many parents going, I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry, I did that. I'm sorry, because they're accused of 1,000 different things. So, okay, I'm sorry for whatever I've done, right? What happens with that is it feels insincere. It feels like you're blowing them off, and, you know, they don't feel like you are addressing the specific thing, whether or not they've actually told you, because 90% of the time they don't even tell you what you've done wrong. So you're throwing out that blanket apology with hopes that it may stick in the right places. But if you are vague, they will think it's insincere and they will not take it as a good apology. That's one of the reasons it's not going to work, right? Um, I want you to go beyond saying, I'm sorry. Like express an understanding of how your actions or perceived actions affected them. Something like, I understand that my actions have made you feel unsupported, and I deeply regret that, daughter, right? Uh, that will help. That will help by, again, you're tapping into their emotional wounds at the moment. When it comes to the other side, which is the narcissist not being able to want you in their life, this may just be enough to get your kid to be able to convince the narcissist that they seemed sincere, right? The other problem I see is, but I'm sorry, but I only did that because or I wanted to help you guys, and I know I shouldn't have like painted your living room while you were away, but I'm sorry. I knew you wanted it painted. Whatever the stupid excuse is, I don't know where that one came from. But it can invalidate the apology. I'm sorry, but. So no sorry buts. You be sorry. You could be sorry for their feelings of not feeling supported or whatever it is. This is how we're going to do it, right? Um, then we need to show commitment to change, right? And again, none of this is going to feel right because 90% of the time it's a lie that you're being accused of doing, right? So how do we show a commitment to change? I'd say the first thing that we need to know is actions are going to speak louder than words. You're going to have to demonstrate a willingness to grow and work on the behaviors they've identified as hurtful. And often they insist upon you seeking therapy. So showing them that you are doing these steps to help fix you is one way back in to get that to potentially stick the next time, right? The other part about apologies are respect their boundaries. Give them time. Healing takes time, and they may need space before they can consider reconciling. It is the hardest thing in the world for any parent to do, is to just step back and go, okay, I won't talk to you for a while, no problem. But giving them that space often helps repair the relationship far more than being constantly knocked off kilter. They ask for space, you come back, you come back, you come back. And what that's doing is you're starting at ground one again each time. If they've asked for space and you break it, and then it's going to go over and over. And what they're going to hear from that, not listening to their boundaries, is you don't listen to my boundaries. Why should I accept your apology, right? Um, the other part about respecting their boundaries is they may not be able to accept it and hear it, right? So don't push for immediate forgiveness. Just because you've made the apology does not mean that they're going to accept it. And if you are insisting on, okay, I've apologized, now get back to like being my child, it could create further distance, right? um, when the narcissistic spouse is involved, they're under emotional pressure. And so reconciliation is going to be really complicated. So focus on consistent behavior. Even if your apology wasn't enough, continue to show love, respect, and support, and gradually rebuild the relationship and avoid giving up, right? Let them know the door is always open. And, when they're ready, you're here. When they want to talk again, you're here. And then you have to look at your own side of the street here. You have to manage your expectations, accept that you can't control the way that they respond, and you can only control you and your emotions. And if you are not doing well during this time, you need help to get yourself balanced and get yourself into an emotional place that this is the hardest thing to accept, that you're not going to talk to your adult child or grandchildren, right? But if you are expecting, oh no, I've apologized, I want them back, now they got to come back, boom, 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 you're the one that's going to be disappointed. So it is about slowing down and managing your expectations, and even, addressing guilt and shame, right? So that they don't like tear you down, right? But there's so much guilt and shame in here that, you know, it's hard to imagine anything ever coming back to square one, if you would. So I hope this helped. It's a little bit on the apology, what not to do, what to do, and how to navigate your way through this really difficult journey. So this is Tracy Malone. You can learn more about narcissistic daughter or son-in-laws on my website under Who is Your Narcissist? It's narcissistabusesupport.com. There's a thing for family. Look under family. You'll find narcissistic son or daughter-in-law. There's a whole page on it. There's blogs on it. I'm trying to put it all in one place. I even added a bunch of my videos to the page the other day. So you can just keep getting more and more resources. I hope this helps you. I am always here to help you. I coach people from all over the world, and it doesn't mean you're here for life. Let's just get some of your questions answered. This is Tracy Malone, and I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you again soon.